Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy JC here again with Wedge Concepts. And in this video, I'm gonna help you set up a really easy and simple budget that you can stick to. Okay, so let's get right to it. All right, thank you for stopping by my channel. Like I mentioned, I'm just going to go over some really easy and simple steps that I hope can help you or assist you in creating a budget for yourself. I think that when it comes to budgeting, people think that a budget is supposed to be restrictive, or people who don't have enough money, they got a budget, only poor people budget. But budgeting is nothing more than just allocating where your money is spent. You're basically giving your dollars an assignment, right? You're saying, when I get paid, this is where you're going to go, and you're in control of it. So you always know where your money is going and also where it went, right? Right. So, all right, let's do this. So let's do it in 5 steps. Okay. So the first thing you want to do, which I think is the most obvious, is that you want to calculate how much money you bring home each pay period and each month. Okay, so if you do not know how to calculate how much money you bring home each month or each week, now I get it if you commission based, or you work in a job where it's hourly and you don't get 40 hours a week, or you don't get the same amount of hours. That makes sense. But if that's the case, try to get an average. But you want to find out how much, or know how much you bring home each paycheck each month. Okay, so that's the first step. The second step is that you want to look at your expenses. You want to figure out what the variable and the fixed costs are, right? So the fixed costs are going to be things that don't change, like your rent, your car note, what else? Your mortgage, things that the same cost, your insurance. The number doesn't change each month. The things that are your variable costs, those are the things that change each month depending on usage, which may be like your gas, electric, and water, as well as food and things like that. So one of the easiest ways to do that is just to go ahead and look at your last 3 months of your bank statements. Just see, hopefully you paid your bills the last 3 months. I'm going under the assumption that you have been paying your bills, but you can just look at those statements. Hopefully you can just go online and print them off. It shouldn't be too difficult for you. Or you might even have the app on your phone where you can do it, just to get an idea. But you want to make sure that you can identify and put into categories how much everything is, as well as identify those things that aren't considered essential, right? Okay. So now you want to figure out the third step. Okay. You want to figure out how much you can actually allocate to your savings, because unfortunately, the majority of the people, there's a study out, I want to say less than 20% of people actually have more than like $3,000 in their savings account. Most people don't make enough money to save anything. But hopefully, by you going back and look at where you're spending your money, hopefully you'll be able to save anywhere from $10 to $50, even $100 a month. But you want to be able to figure out how much money you can save, how much money you want to save, and also kind of plan for things that like vacations and birthdays, Christmas, things like that. So, okay, so we got the first 3 steps, right? So you find how much money you bring home. The second thing is that you want to look at all your expenses. And the third thing is you want to see how much money you can actually put away to your savings, retirement, investing, emergency fund, things like that. So now you want to go ahead and track your spending, okay? Now, for me, I find it easiest to do it with a debit card or with a credit card. I don't even use cash, because whenever you use your debit card or credit card, you can see exactly what you paid for it, when you paid for it. It gives you details, so you can really see and track to get an idea how much you're spending and where your money's going. So that's going to be important to track it. And then the last step, the 5th step, is that you want to review every week, depending on how you're spending, every 2 weeks, at least once a month, obviously, and to see if you're on target. Because what's going to happen is, once you start to see where your money is going, and you realize that, oh, normally I spend $50 when I go out to eat on the weekends, let's just say one day on Saturday, but now you spend $200 because it was such and such birthday. Now you have an idea in your mind that that money's going to have to come from somewhere. And now that you have this budget, you're going to have to try to figure out how you're going to maneuver. Let's let that motorbike go by. That how you're going to have to maneuver. Welcome to my hood. No, you're going to have to figure out how to maneuver and rearrange some money so that it fits your budget, right? So one of the things that you'll see online, which I'm not a fan of, because to me it's not really realistic, is they call it the 50-30-20 budget. And with that, the idea is that you take 50% of your paycheck, and that's supposed to cover all of your essentials. I'm talking your rent, your utilities, everything that you need essentially to live, cable, cell phone, all that. Well, I was going to say I don't know many people that can do that, but actually I do know a number. Actually, I know a lot of people who can actually do that. But the majority of people in the U.S., let's say, aren't able to take 50% and get all their essentials. So that's the 50%. The other 30% is going to be your personal stuff, your shopping, your eating out, whatever you use for personal things, whatever extracurricular activities you're into, right? And then you want to save 20%. So that's the 50-30-20. Now, for me, I think that, most people might do like a 75, 20, and a 5. But the idea is still the same, right? What you want to do is you want to be able to kind of divvy up a percentage wise. I think that kind of makes it a lot easier for people to budget that way, using that method. Now, for me, I've tried 6 or 7 different budgeting methods. And what actually got me on track was a method I implemented probably 2014, 2015. And what I did was, hold up, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did. So what I did was I got paid every Friday at this particular job. I was contracting. So as I spent the money on Thursday night, whatever money that I had left over in my checking account, I made a mental note of it. So let's say I had $78 there. When I got paid that Friday morning, I would take that $78 and move it over to my savings. I didn't allow it to accumulate in my checking account. It's so crazy. I had me a savings account. I'm talking 12, 15 something years that I never put money into my savings. The only time I would use my savings account was when I wanted to take a piece of my paycheck and put it into my savings so that I can make sure that I had enough money to pay my rent. That's the only reason why. And then at the beginning of the month, I would transfer the money from my savings back into my checkings account. Checkings. Into my checking account. And then I would go ahead and pay my rent. So back to the story. So I would take $78 when I got paid on Friday. I would go ahead and transfer that money over. And then I would just rinse and repeat. So the next week I might have $30, $32. Then when I got paid that Friday, I'll take that $32, switch it over. So then that kind of got me in the mindset that no matter what happened, I still had that 1 week's pay that I had to use. And at the same time, my savings account was growing, right? So once my savings account started to grow, and I think once I hit about $700, to the point where my mindset was, if I can get my savings account to be equal to my weekly check, that's funny, then I knew I was doing good. I was on the right track. So once I hit that mark, it started to become addictive, where I started to look at different ways to save money. And everybody knows this, and I'm just going to say it because it needs to be said. But you can save so much money by going to the grocery store. It is ridiculous how much money you can save. And, I finally got my credit card from American Express, the one that give you 6% cash back grocery store purchases. 6%. I'm talking about the grocery store, 6%. This is the stuff that you're buying anyway, and you're getting 6% back. I need to do some videos on credit cards again, because I got a lot of stuff with credit cards. But 6% is my point. So you can save money just by going to the grocery store. So those are the 5 things. You want to go ahead and calculate your income. You want to do all your expenses. You want to set some money aside for your savings as well as your emergency funds. You want to make sure you can track your spending, whether with a credit card. I think there's apps out there called Mint and Personal Capital. And I'm pretty sure you can even track it. At least with Bank of America, they have like a little pie chart where you can see which is for travel, which is for, I don't even know, different categories. Groceries, because I don't use it anymore. But you can break it down by categories. And then you definitely want to review your progress, track your progress, and make revisions as you see fit. Okay, you can try the 50-30-20 rule, that formula where 50% is for essentials, 30% is for your personal needs, and 20% is to your savings and retirement. Or you can do a 80-15-5. You can play around with the percentages and whatever works for you. But the goal is to set up a budget so that way you're not telling yourself that you can't spend money, but what you're doing is you're saying, when I get paid, this is where my money is going. And once you start budgeting, then you can start getting to that small business set of mindset, and then you can start running your finances as if you're a boss. And I'll probably do a video on that too. So do me a favor, do not click the like button, do not click the subscribe button, but just take one seed of what I said, plant it in yourself, allow it to grow, and all of us, let's grow together. Okay? All right. Peace.